shouldeth be live. So I'll say, indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining me here again. Different space, different time, different country, different fractal of the universe, right? Different dimension, you can even say. And yet, here, now, in a moment that we get to share with one another, that we have been able to use this internet to separate ourselves in ways that we've never been able to before, create as a feedback bubble, an algorithm loop, that just shows you the things you most like to see, convincing you that these are the only things worth seeing over and over and over again. And we have used it to see each other in ways that we've never been able to before. I was trying to articulate with Christian today what it is these streams do for me, what it is it means to me, like what it is we're trying to do as a collective. And I asked him yesterday, have you ever had an internet experience that is like this one? Right? And he was like, no. And that's kind of where we left it. And I was thinking today, why is it different? What about it is actually different? And the conclusion I came up with is that instead of it being a tailored, a catered piece of content, right? I come here with an agenda, with a story that I'm gonna try and give you, and then I want you to leave feeling a certain way. It's more opening a window, right, into my little world. And then I give you friends access to that window, and you get to peer through that window at me. And sometimes, especially if we're lucky, I get to peer back at you. And that's the whole trip that we're doing, whole trip that we're a part of right now. Joy B, dear Shannon, thank you for joining me. Lolo's here too. Kurt, thank you for joining us, dear friend. Let's read something we're saying. See if there's anything that the universe wants to have heard. Ooh! So I feel this is beautifully apt. It's a quote on forgiveness. This one is a big one, Christian. And tell me how you feel about this, because it's a little bit of those statement-y quotes. It goes, the practice of forgiveness is the whole of spirituality. Why? Because forgiveness means to let the world off the hook, to release any sense of victim consciousness, and in doing so, to forgive oneself.
Sounds very way of the Tao.
Way of the Tao, dude. I mean, for me, it's the whole of spirituality is forgiveness, dude. That you cannot technically be a spiritual being if you aren't willing to forgive, and there is some stuff happening with our beloved Arpan. This experience we're having right now, dear Arpan friends, will soon no longer be possible, Arpan is officially dying, like it's been on life support this whole time, right? And then they let it die kind of for a little bit, and then they clear the Arpan alive again for a moment there, and now it's like again comatose-ish, and it's plugged into life support, and they're officially we're like, yeah, we're gonna pull the plug on this thing that you friends love so much. And there's two modes of existence, I think Uncle Becky said it so beautifully. He joined us for yoga today. That if you allow yourself a certain way of thinking about it, a certain way of being a part of it, it's devastating, right? Where you create this narrative of how beautiful this thing is, how valuable it's been to us as a community, how much it has done for us to come together. And then you can think how the lack of that thing is gonna devastate, gonna ruin, gonna take away all that stuff. And it can be extremely invigorating in the worst kind of way, where you get angry, where you get worked up, where you feel like things should be differently. And then the other side of it, where it's forgiveness, right? Again, instead of being attached to the things that we don't have or the things that we'll lose, realize just how much we've gotten. Realize that we found one another. We actually found one another through this platform. And we'll continue to find more. There's a process or a fractal, let's say, opening up into a new world. Howdy and welcome. It's nice to see you. John Fines, hey there to you too, friend. Thank you for all of the tags, Uncle Becky. It's so nice to have you. Sorry this happened, Belle. You don't have to be sorry for anything, Gregs. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing I'm trying to say. Is that there's nothing to be sorry about. That there is nothing bad happening, right? And I know it's a hot take, because you're like, what? What, Melt? You don't think this is bad? I think it's bad. I think it's as bad as the next person. But I also have read the War on Art, and that book kind of went into very deep detail about resistance, the muse as a creative force and resistance. How every single time you have this want to do something, this will to self-better, this will to build something, there is this extreme resistance that arises inside of you that's like, no, you shouldn't be doing this thing that you're thinking about doing. And you can either listen to that part of yourself and be like, well, guess this is just the way it is, and you can fall over and cease. Or the other side of it is to see the resistance as a clear indication that you are clearly heading in the right direction, right? And to see that this closing chapter of Arpan is just more of that. That this resistance we're faced with as a community can be seen as something that's going to devastate us, completely destroy what we've been trying to build, or we can realize that it is just proof that the thing we've been trying to build is of so much value that we're going to be provided with resistance if we want to see it continue. All right? And I had this deep feeling today, this question, I guess you can say, of what's the next step? What steps do we have to take? Like, we know where it is we're going, at least to some sort of extreme. We know the idea we're going towards. But what steps do we have to take to get there? And the answer that came back in me asking that question is the next step is up, is forward. That instead of being, caught up in, where are we supposed to go, convincing ourselves we're like on some sort of tippy top point, can't step anywhere. We just have to step forward, have to keep going, have to keep showing up, have to refuse to be let down by ourselves. Thank you. Olivia, I think I missed a few comments here. So this happens again, okay. Hi, sup, man. 108 hours. Thank you for your information. John is the CEO of You Now live streaming. Thank you for letting me know. John Finds, thank you for finding us.
Get out of my house.
Instantly makes it awkward. Thank you, John, for joining us. I don't like that they did this. Pisses me off. They're ruining this run. Yeah, I mean, they're not ruining anything. We have the whole YouTube running, and we're just going to migrate, right? We're going to move to You Now. You Now is going to get all of the artists, all of the creatives that was trying to create on Reddit. It's just going to go and create there. So wins, absolute wins for You Now, in my opinion, right? Taking a step forward instead of taking a step back. Can't be stopped lest we stop ourselves, dear friends. We're the only ones powerful enough to stop ourselves. That's me. Hope you're doing excellent. Better with you here. Thank you, friend. Uncle Becky did a talk about it last night. I think there's going to be another talk with John in the call, actually. So you can actually go and ask directly. Ooh, Toasty. Is that a poem I see? He says, roses are red, Arpan be deleted. Thank you for the service that grew this community. Exactly. That's the thing that I'm looking to as well, right? Instead of being filled with anger and resentment at the team for like taking this beautiful tool away from us, to just be like, wow, I use this tool like a drill or like a hammer. Like what tool definitely gets a little of a beating, Christian? What tool have you used into destruction?
Personally, pens.
Pens. Yeah, there we go. Like a pen, You kept writing with the pen, and then the ink is done. You don't suddenly hate the pen, be like,
the amount of pens I've abused.
These freaking assholes only make the pen to last this long, and this pen was my favorite pen. I could have written 5,000 more nice books with this pen, to be like, thank you, pen. Thank you for serving me so graciously, for serving the function of pen for as long as you did. I appreciate you, dear tool.
There's very few things that are more upsetting than breaking a nice pen.
Dude, breaking a nice pen or your pen running out of ink
Yeah.
at the worst time possible.
Yeah.
Because then, maybe that's the thing, right?
It
Maybe
is.
we feel like it's the worst time possible for us right now. So I'm just going to add gratitude as an intention on this Garrick paper. Gratitude. Because that's what I'm filled with, honestly. Right? Maybe a tinge of really, really, dude, why? But mostly gratitude. We'll add some runes as well. Do you remember any of the rune names? Maybe give me shapes. Some lines of caps, arrows. There is one like that actually. Nice. There is one like that. You have more? Okay, one for me. I'll put Degas, just because I'm biased. Oh, protection. I'll take some protection, thank you. And then I don't remember what this rune does. I think it's the completion rune. I think it's a completion rune. So we have runes and we have gratitude. And we have a dear friend here as well. Thank you, Brother John, for taking time out of your day to join us for this. I love you, Lee. Thank you for joining us too. I understand. I'll try to look at it that way. Someone needs to be pissed, or I'll be that guy. Thank you. Thank you for being vicariously pissed off for all of us. You know, carrying all of that weight so that we don't have to. I appreciate your sacrifice, dear friend. On to the next. This is the way. Arpan brought us all together. Exactly, Joy Vive. It's still beautiful. That poem didn't rhyme because I ain't got the time. Just quickly fixes it. Thank you, Brother Toast. I love you all. We love you too. Thank you, Natalie, for joining us, friend. Jovan, Joe's here too. Natalie says we still have the space to hold together. Exactly. You know, at least YouTube is still going to continue. Twitch ain't so bad when you don't focus so much on the bits and all the BS. Yeah, Twitch is one platform, but I feel YouNow has more of the elements of Arpan that's going lost, right? I think so. I hope so. I would like to believe so. You know, maybe it's hopeful. Maybe I'm in a fractal right now. I wouldn't be surprised. That's really profound, man. You're the one that's profound, dude. I'm just making sounds. I could literally be making alien gibberish noises. And if you understood what I was saying, it would be you understanding what I'm saying. Gabarigu, thank you for joining us too. My daughter is singing the I Love You song I sent you. It's making me see a portal in a mirror, a round mirror, bluish, swirling, almost like Rick and Morty-esque swirls, portal. Sending you love, Natalie. Who needs tears? Joining us too. So nice to have you friends here. I am personally very pleased Arpan is done. I hope it allows traffic to another budding service or a pre-existing one, which we can grow more. I mean, talks. I believe talks will be a thing. The thing just for me right now is I'm a little bit jaded. I'm old and jaded. Oh. Coughs with my worn lungs. What if they take our talks away as well after building? I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, right? Again, even if they do take it away, it's not about, you know, having something at the end of the day. It's just about what it is we have right now. This very tangible moment. Dear friend, thank you so much for all of the love you're sharing. The real Arpan is the friends we made all along the way. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Head for 24 hours. Jungle Book song stuck in my head. Thanks, Mel. Bare necessities. Dude, every single time I sing that song, it also stays with me for multiple hours. I don't know if I should curse friends again by singing it again, but dude, no, it's not Bare Necessities, it's the Ooby-Doo one. I wanna be like you. I wanna walk like you, talk like you, it's true. Oh, me too. I'm sorry. Those is like, no, stop, my brain. Jovan, thank you for the friends as well. I appreciate you sending some love. Who needs tears? Gratitude, a little rat that sits under your hat and drives you around helping you be grateful. Ratatouille. Oh. Ratatouille. A rat that just is grateful for everything. I mean, the first thing that my mind goes to is these trained rats who have a little clicker, and then you give them a lick of cream every single time they do something good, right? And I'm pretty sure they're grateful. So maybe we all need to have some ratatouilles. Greg ratatouilles. Maxime is here as well. Thank you for joining us, friend. All right, time to walk to class. For me, love you, Kurt. Thank you for joining us as well, friend. Let's see if John has any questions. Do I have any questions for John? You have questions for John from you now? The CEO of a company. Oh, what can you ask? What will I ask, actually?
I wasn't prepared for this interview.
Suddenly. Stage fright. What questions do I have? Like, the big question for me is, do you value your creators? You know, do you realize that in fact your creators are the gold of your platform? That the platform is but the plate on which the food is served. You know, to say it in so many ways. What's up, goobly gooply bloobers gloobers? Even better hearing something like that. Thank you for joining us, Isaac. Love to you. And then Meld came. And then Meld can make more money from stream. That is actually true as well, you know. But I feel not making money from streams in a way has been beneficial as well. You know, I feel if there was monetization involved right from the get-go, it might have messed up my brain too much for me to develop a love for it in the way I have right now. Thanks, Mrs. Boob. Happy to answer questions about you now and how you can continue there. I've already started streaming there. I started streaming there when Arpan initially stopped working for me. And we kind of assumed that it would be dead. And I instantly just started streaming on YouNow. Maybe I'll write YouNow on this joint, actually. How about that? Literally a physical manifestation of YouNow into our world. So I'm so down. I'm already there. I already have a platform. We have the friend here as well. We can have fun, cute or funny sound alerts, like a good song or a fart or whatever. We'll have everything, dude. Like I'm looking forward to what Web3 is going to hold for us as well. You know, where you'll be quite literally able to just lean to the person next to you and be like, right? You can make funny sounds with the person next to you. You can both laugh together about it. Hey, Maxine, you feeling dead, dear friend? Tell me what's going on. The ads are the goal, the creators are the bait. Yeah, that's true. Let's just form an actual call. Let's take over, gently takes over a plot of land and create a commune. You know, the thing is with that is that we will all have to abandon our dear loved ones, our families, our friends that is close to us. And I feel like that's the real thing that people are always yiked out about. You know, that for unity, it begets more separation, you know, and I feel like that is the model we're trying to melt away slowly but surely, is to figure out some sort of way to make it unifying no matter where it is we are. And I feel like at the same time, it's creating this weird paradox between what the real world is and what the fake world is. But I've been really thinking about the internet as just an extension of our world. It's no more real than this world is real. It's no less real than this world is real. It's just real adjacent, you know, real but not real, you know. And you can say the same thing about the human existence as well. It's so fleeting in the grand scheme of things that you could basically convince yourself that it's not actually real. I wouldn't recommend that. That's how you trip yourself out into infinity. I believe that instead of nothing being real, everything is, right? Either nothing matters or everything matters. And depending on what you decide is right. Again, that there's no right way to know. There's no right or wrong even, you could say. And I know this is, you're like, excuse me, Mel? Like, it's just about going forward. That instead of being completely, you know, obsessed with what is right and what is wrong, realize that it's always changing. It's always going forward. It's always taking the next step to what always was. What about memberships for YouTube, Melty? I'm not a fan of Twitch. I had too many platforms on my phone and I deleted it. Memberships on YouTube happens as soon as we hit 1,000 subs, so that's not too far away either. Actually, we need a sanctuary on a couple of 100 acres. One love to you too. Of course, Gary Lee is here as well. So much love to you, brother Bear. Gentle colonization. That's what I say. It's just like gently colonizes. Pastor J, man. Bruh, don't you threaten me with a good time, Gary. I'll pass a J so hard to you that you'll finish. For some reason, I had this whole image in my mind where as soon as I pass the joint to you, you just go flying back in your chair. I hope that you can see what I was seeing as well. I get the RPass going away, but I don't understand why they're deleting all past videos. Yeah, that's a little bit of a yikes as well. I do agree. Like all of my dancing streams, you know, that I just did, all of the morning streams, all of the music streams. It's sad. It's sad, you know, especially since it's very valuable data technically as well. If they actually knew what they had, but oh well. You cannot teach people to see the future. You can only try and see it together, right? Creating a unified vision of what the future can be. Speed delivery. I'm so sorry for spacing on the comments. I'm trying to again balance multiple streams of consciousness. Just joining in, Melty. Not sure what's going on, but you have my love and support. Thank you, Rabbit in 3D. That's so nice of you. Sending that support right back. Thank you for coming over. We are psyched to have you all come. We're looking forward to it, John. Thank you for tagging the you now of Uncle Becky as well. Go check it out, dear friends. Ask your questions. Yeah, I only really have one question. Only really just one question is, what do you think about your creators? Right? And I feel I already have a little bit of an idea. Like you actually pay your creators. That is like one step in the right direction. Christiana's actually flexing on me right now.
Shut the fuck up.
He's actually flexing. What do you think about Hindu spirituality? I'm actually a big fan, you know, like big fan from the storytelling perspective. Is it creates these narratives through, you know, entities, through characters, you could say. And then it tells you a story that you are allowed to see yourself through, you know, showing you how even these conceptualized gods make mistakes, you know, get angry, falter, do stupid things sometimes. And I feel that as a way to see religion is a lot more honest and transparent than a lot of the other religions that creates this narrative about a perfect God, right? Infallible, perfect, all-seeing. And I mean, technically there are aspects of that in the Hindu philosophy as well. You know, Brahman, you know, literally looked so much that he grew a fifth head so that he can look even more. He can look up as well or whatever. That's like literally how it is, dude. Like he had 4 faces and then he was looking for his divine feminine to the point that he grew an extra head so he can look harder. Oh, he can look even harder. And that's too real. That's too real. I'm live there tonight at 8 p.m. ET, answering questions on Haywire Hill all day as of today. I'm happy to respond to DMs. Thank you so much, John Fines, for all of the effort you're going through, Brother Bear. Greg's, I'm the CEO, literally the CEO of you now. We have someone here that has infinite power when it comes to the future, you know. I don't think the industry realizes just how big live streaming is going to continue becoming. I feel it's like almost the next step of the internet interaction, you know. Like we had content for the longest time that was just this, we're gonna make a thing and then we're going to give the thing to the people. And we had to make things cater to the people, what the people wanted to see things of, right? And it was this whole budgeting thing where, can we make this thing? Are people gonna want to see this thing that we make? Is it gonna be worthy of getting made if people don't see it? And now we've reached this point where we're just trying to see each other. That you can technically do that with a work of art. You can show yourself to someone. You can hold a mirror up to nature. For example, the CEO, Meld, when you see this, would you mind giving a rundown on this community and its inhabitants? That's a tall order. In the words of Uncle Becky, high quality humans come to my mind. Where this community is filled with people that actually have a genuine understanding about the world. And that might be biased, right? Because I consider myself a part of this community. I would like to believe I have an understanding of the world. But if anything, we understand that community is important, that having people to lean on is important. Being able to reach out to someone when you're feeling like death is important. And we find ourselves in a world more interconnected than ever, and at the same time, we feel at times more disconnected than we ever have as well. So this community is basically living proof that we can use this thing that people have convinced themselves is evil, have convinced themselves is degrading the fabric of society, and we're using it to build the fabric of society. We're building society without having to be a society, you know. That's the whole trip for me, and I feel that's what this community tries to embody. I consider myself Melt, and the name Melt more to me is a collective name at this point, where I'm Melt and you friends are the more. Not only more than me, but more than me in the context of how many of you there are, right? Like these like whole fractals. Like I'm a person, and I have loves, and I have dreams, and I have aspirations for what I want in the future and what I've done, and all of these things informing what I'm going to continue doing. And every single one of you has that whole fractal inside of you as well. And then we come together, and then these fractals start to align. We start to draw these grooves within this reality, and this groove becomes the linearity that we're heading towards. And gives me hope. Gives me a hope that this space is so powerful, that we've already done so much in the little time we've received. Can't even imagine how much we'll continue doing. I hope that's good enough, Uncle Becky. Sorry about Arapan being sucky. Would love to see you come. We surely will, John. Thank you. Thank you so much for the encouragement. Leaving your you now handle in chat so John can give you a welcome. Thank you. I believe it's just Meltmore. I believe it's just Meltmore. We think we are a much kinder version of Twitch with better tools for broadcasters. Exactly, right? Like kindness. I think that's like the deciding factor for me of where I'm gonna go next. I feel Arpan in a way, I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. Had a kindness to it. Had a gentleness, had a willingness to see people, right? For me, from the very start was, instead of you're watching a streamer, you're watching a whole fractal, right? You're peering into the fractal of another person's existence. And that's what Arpan was for us, you know. And I feel you now has that vibe as well. The internet is pretty wild. An entire world that does exist and influences our world immensely. I love to imagine the chaos if it all crashed and lost all the servers permanently. And there would be chaos, and then we just adapt, you know? That's the thing human beings like to do. It's like, oh, new things? Oh, this thing falls apart? Well, guess we're just gonna start building something else. We were talking about Murphy's Law as of late, you know, that things are tending towards chaos, lest someone puts it in order. And I feel we are beings that want to see things in some sort of order. And now it's just about deciding what order we want to see arise from this infinity. And the order we're trying to find is an order of love, an order of unity, of understanding, of compassion for the beings that we spend time with. Where we'll rebuild it, of course, dude. That's not gonna stop us. Because they're going public and they don't want copyright content on their servers available to the public IMO. That's probably what it is. That's a good point, actually, Toast. Bad solar flare and crash noises, internet jankified. It's possible, right? Just as possible as getting hit by a meteorite somewhere from outer space. Just as possible as a supermassive volcano erupting and cooking the surface of the earth. Just as possible as a pathogen mutating in a certain way and killing every single living organism. All of these things are possible, all right? And we can trip ourselves out about thinking about them. Or we can realize, here we are, now. And there doesn't exist anything other than the here and the now. And if you can't make the here and the now enjoyable, the tomorrow won't be enjoyable either. The internet is archived. It will still be there, you know, you just gotta go download it before it's too hard to find. That is the way. It's gonna be okay. I'm really not worried, actually. All right, Melty. I'm like struggling right now. My brain is getting melted again, trying to get to all the comments. So I'm a bit rusty on what makes a channel show up more in YouTube. Years ago, it was likes, comments, and follows. I have time today to go down your vids for the cause, please, right? Like if you, and this is, I mean, technically we've already reached our watch hour limitation or requirement. We already did the watch hours. We just have to get to 1,000 subs now. But if you just wanted to put one of my playlists, you know, the 2021, someone is screaming. Oh, someone is losing their shit right now. Oh, it's okay. So please, thank you for all of the support, Maxine. You're already doing it right now. Just being here, you're supporting this space. Humans find conflict through harmony. I was thinking about that as well, dude. Harmony through conflict. I was thinking about spending time with people. You know, how if you spend enough time with people, eventually there arises conflict. And I was like, interesting. How can we stop doing that? That a niner! It's so nice having you here, dear friend. Dude, I thought the screaming was coming from my building. Maybe it came from all of our buildings. Maybe the collective universe is screaming at something right now. Makes me feel better for not screaming. Is someone getting disciplined next door? Maybe they've been disciplined, you know? Like now there's your silence.
Maybe they're about to be.
They're so disciplined right now. If you don't get 1,000 subs, do they drop you here too? No, Joe, no, not at all. It's just a process. It's just a process, you know? Like there's some monetization stuff that happens with the 1,000 subs, but I'm calm, all right? One step at a time. We're not in a sprint right now. We're in a marathon, and I plan on continuing forever and ever and ever. Keep going forward, keep stepping up. Sounds intriguing. I've streamed here almost 3 years and I'm excited to try something new. It's beautiful. Like you now has been pretty cool. The people, I don't know if there's a lot of bots, but there seems to be similar questions being asked. And that's something that maybe that's what I should ask, John. What do you do about bots? You know, I don't know if, and like, no, dude, starts asking the most difficult questions to answer. Please, Mel, stop. No, 97 subs away. That's nothing, Melty. You got this. Super got that. Thank you, dear Maxine, for the encouragement as well. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time with everything. You know, we're going to continue going up, stepping up, moving forward. John Fimes, you got a big lucky pot of gold here. That's what happened. Thank you for the love, Red. No, you. Can you tell us the revenue split? We value our creators. We come out with new tools for them every few weeks. We work hard to promote them across platforms, and we pay a higher revenue share than Twitch, 60% versus their 50%. Like I feel I'm okay with that as well. You know, my idealized revenue split going forward, creating my own businesses as well, is 44.44% to me, 44.44% for the community, 11.11% for the world, where I want all of the wealth I ever generate to be proportionally 11% thereof given to the world, given to ocean cleanups, given to reservation restoration, given to planting trees, given to trying to develop new technology. Who knows? Who knows how much we'll do? I'd go around to people at the music festival and have them sub right there at the spot now. Maybe we'll do that, you know. I don't know if I'm that brave. Sees myself actually doing that. I'm definitely that brave. I don't know if I want to be that brave. Thank you, dear Joe, for the encouragement as well. I'm picking up my daily jar. Melt, wake and bake. You wanna start smoking this joint with me, Christian?
Yeah, sure.
Come and join me. Stop typing for a second. You wanna read a bit of your book?
No. None for you.
Yes, you are, but love you.
People haven't paid yet.
Yeah, you haven't paid yet. You can only get all of the book, you know, once you pay. Shelly! It's been forever.
Shelly!
Saying hello, friends. I haven't joined the space for months because my schedule conflicts. I wanted to be here this morning to give my positive energy to everyone who wants some. Really love you guys. We love you too. Thank you, Sean, for joining us, friend.
Oh, water, thank God.
Have some water, dude.
Oh my God.
So I rolled this joint. It has you now. It has gratitude, and it has a bunch of runes. So, and then I'll smoke it for our entire community as well, dude. We've created something, Christian. Look, people know you. Oh, look, people are like Christian. This is where you say hi and I love you and stuff.
I waved. I did a whole like kissy thing. I'm loving your YouTube advertising.
Bro, like they've
Find
been
yourself a hot girl.
They've
For a
been
second, I thought it
thirsty.
was a fan that was like, "Hey,
here.
over here,
Find
find yourself a hot."
Find me, please, right now.
Damn it!
Dude, like weirdly enough, there's like been an influx as of late. Like the sex bots are like really thirsty. They found me and they're like,
How
hey,
is this even allowed, bro? Can't you like disable it on your YouTube channel or something, or do you have to pay more for that?
and it's just moderation, dude. Like there has to be better gatekeepers, technically.
Gatekeepers. The bots, bro.
I asked our beloved John the same question. It's like, what can you do about bots? That's like the hardest problem, and it's only gonna get worse. Language models, instantly generating new tools. You can literally create images of people that look like people, but don't exist.
Guys, modern magic is computer science.
Oh yeah. Going to try that hot girl link and let you guys know. Suddenly Gary Vee gets pulled into a fractal, never to be seen again, disappears into the internet, into the hot girls. Dude.
You know how we're gonna make magic a reality, right? When we've left our stupid organic forms behind and we've gone completely virtual, digitalized.
Oof.
And then it'll just be the technomancers, bro, like virtual fireballing everyone.
You know what the joke is, dude? Is that we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna play that game for an eternity, and then we're gonna be like, how about we put some limitations on this bitch, and then we're gonna be ourselves again.
Again, full circle, Alan
Yeah.
Watts style.
Exactly, dude. The whole
Dream about being something
exactly.
else. Dream about
If you had the ability to dream about whatever you wanted to dream every single night going to sleep, and you could dream 8 years, 80 years of dream space every single time you went to sleep, you would dream everything. You would do everything. You would experience everything you could ever experience. And then you'll be like, let's experience something new. And as soon as you have that thought, you'll experience your life. Your life.
I've always, you know how we constantly like forget dreams, even the ones you can remember sort of vaguely.
Mm.
You know, you still forget most of the things you actually dream about. I often wonder to myself, like, do we actually go and live like 1,000 years in one dream, but we forget about it as we get back to this life?
I actually believe, like, I don't know if 1,000
That would
years,
be-
but I believe I definitely go to different places, dude. And I go there to learn. That's the thing for me. That every single time I have this deep sense that I'm going to some sort of divine school, dude. The dream space is like a teacher in itself. Maybe that's why it's a revered through culture. Thank you for the information. Ooh, no, we're on fiat currency right now. Crypto is a bit rough since we're a US-based company. John, even though it might be a bit rough, right? Like, is it rough because you're trying to get regulation, right? You're trying to get approval? Or is it rough because of the fluctuation? Because the thing with crypto is that you can just donate the units, right? You don't have to even give conversion rates, technically. I mean, crypto is going to be a good thing to step into no matter when you start, really. It's an app or a website, both, technically. I'd like the info. If someone could link me, let me know, I guess. I'm being in such a panic, depressed combo because I don't want the void where Meltmore and Haywire Hill and Insane and G-Poot used to be my world. We'll still be doing it, Heather, right? Like, that's the thing. It's going to change. It might be a little bit less accessible, more resistance, more steps that you'll have to take in order to see the things, but we won't disappear. We won't disappear, we'll just change. YouNow.com, or you can get the app on Apple and Google Play. Thank you, John. This is true. You can find it, dear friends. We're gonna start streaming on YouNow. Maybe that's where we're supposed to go, Heather. There's a bunch of other friends there as well. What is that? Funny vehicle, this is a stream. I love the stream. You are super positive. Love you too, John. Thank you. I try to be. I shared this with Christian yesterday that the only thing that we can hope to do is share hope, right? Like, there is enough whack shiznit happening right now for all of us. Like, there's whack shiznit and then some.
So Estian is very much just a bundle of positivity that the rest of the world kind of needs to feed off of, like a resource, because we need that sometimes.
It's gonna be a fire.
And I'm including myself on this list because I do it on a daily basis.
Christian
I
is,
get back from the dirt and the mud of, you know, the work world and sitting behind computers and talking to clients. You get back home and just like suck positive energy to feel alive again. So it helps. It really, it's also a nice reminder sometimes. Depending on what you surround yourself with, you can forget a lot about the positivity of the world.
Dude, and like that was the thing for me with live streaming in the first place, where I was selfishly thinking to myself, I can't exactly take all of your time, you know, just be like, okay, Christian, I'm just gonna be attached to your leg and I'll just be having deep chats with you all the time, dude. No matter where you go, you can't sleep, can't eat, just me there, right? That's a little bit unrealistic. But it's not unrealistic to expect myself to at least show up with that energy once a day.
Mm.
And that's what this stream has become, dude. That's what we're doing for each other right now, man. So it really was this. It goes both ways. That's what I'm trying to say. Sure, I feel like I'm at my best when it comes to the good I can do when I'm amongst friends, but I can't expect you friends to have to do that. Right?
Yeah, so this it becomes very difficult because people feel very included on these streams when the comments are read and when they are, addressed or when they get
I'm
a
still
chance
feeling
to
that. I'm still
no, but what I'm saying is it's gonna get a lot harder, for example, if there's more fame, more people joining, more followers, etc., etc., etc. Like there's always the communication and the chats between themselves,
yeah, that's
But
happening
you're
here as
gonna
well,
lose a little bit of that
back and forth.
back and forth, which is obviously to be expected unless you go and human computer interface yourself and read a bunch of
That's gonna have
chats
to happen
as
as well. But like the thing I was thinking again, and the whole window analogy comes back to me, dude. Like I feel even though the level of interaction might change a little bit, it will still be the same window, right? And that's the thing that I feel I want to keep pure. Like instead of being concerned with what happens on the other side of the window, I just want to be sure that the window is as clean as possible, so that that interfacing, that bandwidth remains. And I feel like fortunately you friends are able to talk to one another. So no matter how many of us there will always be one person that can reach out to one other person. Christian is the goth. Christian is the realist, I think.
I actually wouldn't mind dressing a bit more like a goth more often if it was like
Socially acceptable.
slightly cooler at work, if that makes sense.
Are you
I also
gonna
feel
go-
like the eyeliner is a bit much effort, man.
Yeah.
Like it looks cool.
Black nails
It
though?
looks- I don't like having shit on my nails.
No, not either actually. It is. We're just people, Like
We're
I
just
feel-
humans.
We're
very,
just
very
humans. Yeah. And the human being can be many things, fortunately. I feel if anything, we can dress up, We can like
I think there are occasions for these things.
that's what I'm trying to say, dude. Like what I'm envisioning right now is instead of actually putting eyeliner on yourself, you just embody a character that is this goth, in a way. And then you create a story around that.
You gotta have aura, my bro.
Yeah, exactly.
You can wear a frilly pink dress but still give off a goth aura.
Exactly, so you can like make the whole thing tailored to the story you're trying to present.
I actually
right?
kind of dig that. In fact, dress completely opposite to your personality and surprise people.
Dude, I mean, this might not be the best fractal to bring to the stream, but I saw this video where these dudes in dresses, not Powerpuff Girl dresses, just kicking someone's ass who was trying to assault a girl or something, dude. And it's just like this jacked dude in a Powerpuff Girl outfit. Like,
did you see the video about the Star Wars spoilers at the cinema?
No.
There was a guy that like came out of the cinema just after the end of the movie while the other people were going in, and he started like shouting spoilers, dude. A stormtrooper, a Chewbacca, and someone dressed like Yoda started beating the shit.
They're the ones like there's actually some psychology around wearing a mask and how willing you were like to for instance assault someone, dude. Like it's a separation again. Like, and I feel like that's why we're creating this virtual realm where we're already desensitizing ourselves to the fact that you can shoot enemy characters in the game and it's okay, right? Like that's basically the rules we're creating for that world. And I've been sharing this understanding that Instagram has become that in a way, right? Like all of these platforms, if you're not willing to keep the window clean, if you can just do whatever you want behind the window, it becomes this thing where it's a parallel reality to the one we're living in right now, where dudes get super shredded and then they take 100, 200 different photos in different angles, in different lighting, in different parts of the gym. And then instead of maintaining that condition, they post the photos sporadically throughout the year, selling you supplements and gym programs so that you can look that way as well. You know, it's like an actual virtual reality. Like think about that, dude. The same with like the bikini models, dude. Like they get into super good condition through hard work and it takes effort, and then they take a copious amount of photos, and then it becomes this like, this is what you can get if you only bought my BCAAs. No.
One thing I know for sure about the human body is if you're not constantly maintaining it, that shit goes away. It just
It's true, but when you look at Instagram fitness models, dude, looking that way is not how people look. It's like
you
in the
can.
same, you know, dude.
You
Of course
can.
you can, dude. But it's like creating this narrative that this is how people are looking out there, dude. If
That
you're
is quite annoying.
as soon as you put a shirt on and there's bad lighting, then you look like
Sure.
every single other person, dude.
Sure.
You look like every.
I'm not gonna lie, for some of you guys that are guilty out there for this, this is very personal opinion right now, and this is something that I can't stop within myself, but I do anyway. Is I follow some. I went to a very nice high school, so there were a lot of.
I like how he's like.
There's a lot
he's
of
drifting.
conditions.
He's drifting around the thing he actually wants to say.
But what I'm gonna say here, there's a reason for this. Anyway, I went to school with a lot of very wealthy people. I was the poor kid, and these guys, I have them on Instagram because of school. And I'm just seeing their lives right now, and I am in absolute awe. I am in just absolute awe at these guys. They're fucking perfect looking, married young, they're traveling the world,
Posting photos of all
posting
these
photos
places.
in Ibiza, in fucking Portugal, and all of these wide variety on beaches and mountain skiing and stuff. I'm staring at this.
Holmes, you do realize the same thing happens there. Like with ordinary people, they go to Europe once. They take photos in 50 different places.
Dude, I'm talking about one person.
Dude, I know, but like, listen to what I'm saying.
Oh,
dude. And then
50
throughout the year,
Oh.
they post these photos, dude.
Okay.
Again,
That makes
creating these
more
narratives,
sense.
like, and it's so beautiful that you say that, dude. Because then people find themselves believing, what the fuck's wrong with me? I'm not,
Bro,
how am I
because
living that
I'm
life?
thinking to myself, like, how are you
Exactly,
paying for shit,
because it's
dude?
not that way, dude.
How are you
They go once and then they like have like a 2-week vacation and they fly different places. They take photos. It becomes like a paranoid. I have to create this artificial reality so people think this is the way it is. It's like an actual game.
That's a crime, bro.
It's an actual game, and people are getting
That's a crime.
wrecked for it.
That should be a crime.
It is. It should be a crime, dude. It's just the seat with extra steps. It's such a joke. It's such a joke. And again, you know, like then we feel like, oh, they should have taken, of course, a certain X amount of steps
But don't
to
you
get to
think-
that point
okay.
that I'm not taking those steps.
Fair enough. Fair enough. It's just I read something there that said like comparison is the thief of joy. Sure. Fair enough. But don't you think there's an element of competitiveness that is necessary to get through?
So I
achieve,
had this moment today where I was thinking to myself that I have this extreme willingness to do things, right?
Mm.
And that extreme willingness to do things is gonna help get me to do things, surely. But at the same time, as soon as those things have gotten done, and I don't allow myself any time in between, then it just becomes another thing, dude. It becomes like one of those things that helped you in the first place, but then it's gonna be the thing that drags you down, dude. You know, it's like you should have some sort of competition in you, some willingness, but there's this. Let me see if I can remember it. Tada, something Tadu Shikau, which means I know what's enough.
Is that Japanese?
It's Japanese, dude. It's like this circle with
Weird.
like the. Stop.
Go
So
on, yeah,
basically, I know what's enough. You know, like as a philosophy to live by. That if you realize you have enough food to eat, you have a warm bed to sleep in, you have access to energy, and you know that is enough. That is what enough is. Just knowing what's enough.
Okay, but then sometimes you're driven by like extreme morality, which can be dangerous as well.
Trying to help. Oh.
Yeah.
trying to help.
It's like I want to help so badly,
Yeah.
and I'm not
I'm gonna
achieving
do.
the
I'm gonna
degree
do
of
whatever I
wanting
can to
yeah.
help.
I'm gonna I'm gonna do some dangerous things.
Dude, it's such a slippery slope
To
all the
help.
time. Brother Cable agreed something. It's nice to see you as well, Brother Cable. Said something that Isaac said was something he agrees with. It's like being on a people mover at the airport, Cable. Even if you turn around and try and walk backwards, you're still moving forwards, no matter what.
Unless you like really, really run hard backwards.
True, but I'm
and like pushing children.
people
over.
are doing that, dude. Like I'm thinking about that analogy as collective society
I once
slash
fucking
technology.
did that, dude, down an escalator.
Like, have you ever done it up?
Fucking pushed someone over by accident.
Did they fall? Did they
we
fall
weren't
down?
halfway. We weren't halfway up the escalator yet. We were like a quarter of the way, and I'm like, shit, I went down. I started running down, and I didn't quite see the other person, so like, I'm like, and I didn't stop because I had to get to the end, and I learned an important lesson that day.
Bro, like, please paint me a picture. I'm just seeing you're like throwing this person off an escalator, dude, and they're like,
No,
they just fell over.
they didn't like fall down the stairs. At least they like tripped over and shit. And I was like,
Thank goodness. I mean, of course you didn't do it on purpose. You stop and say sorry?
I did say sorry.
Oh, that's nice. Isn't
I
it?
yelled sorry. I didn't stop and say sorry.
You
I
just-
went to the bottom of the
You
stairs.
had to eat.
Yeah. Well, that was a lot.
Sorry, friends. I'm present again. Brother Joel says I have to run. Talk to you all tonight. Thank you for joining us today. It was nice to have you, dear friend. It's cool to have you answer the questions. He says crypto is rough because our users are global and it's very hard to manage the US banking requirements with people all over the world. Maybe easier for us to pay out in fiat. Oh, okay. He's talking about the payment. Okay. I'm thinking, or I guess I can't really ask the question now, but I was thinking more direct interfacing, right? You basically make it a service that you, or the actual crypto or the wallets that you have on your computer already becomes the medium, and you're just basically opening portals.
I honestly
Right.
think it's okay to invest some crypto.
Yeah.
Like, don't make it your bloody main savings account or anything like that. But
Only invest what you can afford to lose
mm.
is a good nomenclature. If you have X amount of capital that you would
if it
spend
goes
on,
well, fuck yeah. If it goes shit, well, you can at least cut your losses.
and to the friends who are curious about crypto but doesn't understand why it has any utility, we live in a digital age, right? And we used to live in a completely physical age where we had these physical tokens, and then tokens started
Gold
having
coins.
gold, actual weighted gold coins, and then we started putting faces on it, and we could take the metal out of it. We could just make it normal, basic metal, and as a face on it, and that face says it's worth something. And then it became like IOUs basically, which became bonds, and then it became pieces of paper money. And then we went into this digital age where the gold standard has already been abolished, and you can just make more and more and more and infinitely. You can just add numbers to a computer, fiat currency, where blockchain basically creates this whole protocol that locks down the exact amount that there can ever be. And the only way for you to make more of it is to create this whole thing over from scratch. And if you keep building on this thing, it stays the same. It's anti-inflationary. Like, you would be able to explain better than anybody did. What you did your honors on crypto. Like, give. It's basically like, and that's a long-winded way to say, in a world where we used to have things tangible and physical that you
It's
can
a
give.
distributed consensus.
I can
algorithm.
take this
That's what
pen
it's called.
and give it to you, and then as soon as you take it, it's now in your hand with digital.
Digitally speaking.
Yeah, that's technically what crypto
Proven
is.
fact.
Exactly. As soon as it leaves my hand, it gets put in his hand. Now it's his.
What's really, really great about it and what makes it the best sort of reliant thing is that if one wallet goes down, like, the system continues working.
Yeah.
If another, like, let's say Australia goes down, everyone up to the last person will still have an absolute copy of the blockchain.
The whole blockchain.
If there's one copy, it can be distributed.
Exactly. So
Which means that
coming back to the question of, like, if the internet literally becomes completely destroyed, we would still be able to bring our money back. We would not.
If you had a copy of the blockchain store.
But dude, there's like literally hundreds of millions out there. Hundreds of millions are out there right now. And the point is that if our internet, right, like with a massive solar flare, for example, got completely wiped out, all fiat would be wiped out with it. Gone forever. It's not the same with blockchain.
Where do you think people are storing those numbers in their banks? Those big
Old. Dude, you know how old the banking system's code is, dude?
I don't want to know, bro.
Dude, the brain damage.
Remember we were talking about Snowflake servers or
Yeah.
Snowflake machines, dude. It's unique. It's one of a kind. Don't touch it. We don't know
Mhm.
how this works. And if that stops working, we're over.
Yeah, dude, like that's terrifying, bro. Like the internet as it is and the banking system as it is already beyond human, conception. And it is so corrupt right now. Like you can just print more money, dude. They're like, yeah, we're gonna make a loan, and then they just generate
Dude,
$1.2 trillion
Start
out of nothing.
printing more money. You just add another.
That's what I'm
zero.
saying, dude. That's
Digital.
they're just printing on like
Digital number.
on a computer screen, like print 120000000. That's like the printing numbers. Alright? It's easier than printing actual money. Like just think about that.
It's way easier.
Printing actual notes would be exponentially more difficult to what it is they're doing right now. And you can't do that with crypto. It's not possible. It's almost like how to idiot proof money in the digital realm. It's like, you cannot fuck with this thing. It's unfuckwithable. Oh man, I'll find a way. Probably. But you can't break it. That's the thing. I mean, even if we figure out quantum, dude, you would have to be remaking the entire blockchain for every single transaction that's ever made, and then simultaneously take over every single transaction that's being made in order to try and take it over. And you can add like layers of security to that shit as well. It's impossible. It's actually impossible.
Never say impossible.
Yes, dude.
Nothing is impossible.
My jaw will fucking drop to the ground. Oh, if
I think
ever
there
see
is
that
not
thing.
a single thing that is not crackable. Yes, it might take you trillions of years,
Yes. Okay,
but it is crackable.
And you would need the processing power of the sun. That's a good caveat to add. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Nothing is impossible. It's just very unlikely. It's much more unlikely than it is that human beings will mess with the financial system as it is right now. And that's the big thing. Like we'll
Technically, all the money you have in the bank account right now doesn't belong to you.
Yeah, you're lending it to the bank, and
It
then
belongs to the bank.
and then they're lending it to someone else at a higher interest rate, and then they're giving you the low interest rate. They're like making cash with you giving them your
Banks
cash.
are incredibly
Shady.
dangerous entities.
So shady, dude.
Please don't assassinate me, Mr. Banks. Whoever is out there.
Christian, they're assassinating themselves. So.
Yeesh. I'm just a humble, nobody citizen. Just doing my thing.
Thank you, dear friends, so much for joining me today. Susanna, I see you're here as well. It's nice to have you here. They said they're driving her crazy, so I'm coming for backup. I'm at the mall with a close friend of mine. She's babysitting children, and I'm coming to the rescue. Thank you for being there with her. Everything is more bearable if you have a friend there with you. I love the people mover analogy. We just have to stop people from trying to run back and tripping people off. Like so, I was thinking about it from society as a whole is slowly moving up this escalator, right? And even if you start moving down, you're still moving up, technically. But some people are so obsessed with how the escalator used to be that they're trying to run back to that point in the escalator, meanwhile pushing people down trying to get there, like peer pressure from your ancestors. Right. That's what my mind was creating.
Okay, but bro, it's really hard to like throw off peer pressure from your ancestors. That's a difficult one.
My dad.
At
was
least
the
I don't
same.
I don't know about the rest of y'all, but it's pretty damn hard to throw off peer pressure from ancestors. It takes a lot of I don't know, saying no to your ancestors.
It
from
takes
your origin.
it takes a lot of melting your ego away, dude. Because
It's
we
not-
become like again we were like saying, oh my dad did this.
Okay, but
so
you're not melting
I'm
away
gonna do
just
this.
your ego. You're melting away your ancestors' ego as well.
That's true. That is true. I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying. I feel I've never had any trouble wanting to fit in. You know, and I feel like that in a weird way is a negative and something that helps me a lot.
I don't know. In from my origin, like we have a deep respect for ancestors and the people who came before us, dude. Like mad love and admiration and appreciation and
My ancestors,
trust.
my
Trust
ancestors
as well.
were a little bit colonized.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a little bit hard for me to really get behind their philosophy, dude.
That's a tough one.
Exactly.
A lot of my ancestors were slaves.
Yeah. See, like that's a difference, dude. That's a big important difference. So for me, I feel like it's almost my responsibility to bury my ancestors' legacy, dude. Not bury their legacy. I mean, all of this is here, you know, because of all of the stuff that was done, you know, and I'm aware of that, and it's hard. It's so hard. But at the same time, I cannot continue being that way. None of us can. And again, people are so obsessed with being the way that things have been that they're running down the escalator, pushing people. No, you don't want to go down the escalator? Go down the escalator. Little kid though. Actually pushes your own little kid down the escalator with you, dude.
A lot of great leaps and bounds in evolution was because of child trampling. Nobody quote me.
I was about to say. I was like, you're gonna follow that up with something, you know, like but or so. Like I know that sounds hectic, but just like yeah.
Nature is vile and cruel that way. Dangerous that way.
She steps on you in that way, dude.
That's how some species evolve.
Hand shoes joining us too. Hello, Christian and Estia. Hello, Heather. Thank you for joining us, friend. Isn't that only if it's a credit union V? I don't know what that means actually.
I'm no businessman.
Same. Because they gamble with, lend from, make interest on your cash, and then you want your cash back. They give you your money back. Not necessarily the same dollars you deposited. Definitely not the same dollars you deposited. Not only that, but they make money with having your money in there, and then they also ask you money for every single interaction, every single purchase, every single. They're like, yeah, it's not bad enough that we're gonna lend your money out and make 4% interest on that shit, but we're also going to charge you for every single transaction. And technically, there are still network costs in the crypto world as well. That's true, but we're already getting close to orders of magnitude, dude. Like literally hundreds of cents for transaction costs in the crypto space, dude. Versus sometimes up to like $5 for over $100 purchases.
I don't know.
It's
I'm blind to these things.
from stick. Literally did a whole year studying about what crypto can do for the world. Cannot see. Ripple is a good one actually, dude.
Ripple is awesome.
Yeah, it's a big one. Like, what was your paper about? Just the feasibility of it?
Ripple's IOTA. I hope that's the one we're talking about. Or is it the XRP ledger?
The XRP ledger, probably.
No.
Like that is the.
Oh, I'm thinking of IOTA's Tangle. No, Ripple is okay.
It's I think one of the big ones
Pretty
for like.
slow.
It's slow, but it's
Massive
apparently
storage required for it.
its use case is like sending large sums of money between government entities or countries.
Yeah, so I think Ripple is kind of like the precursor step. It's part of the evolutionary process of crypto. And what I mean by that is so is Bitcoin. Yeah, it's gonna be a thing, but they are gonna be far more efficient.
Oh yeah, Bitcoin is gonna be a
And better
store of
class.
value. It's gonna be like having actual blocks of gold in a in a closet somewhere. That's gonna be like what Bitcoin is gonna be in the future, dude. Like that's trippy, huh?
Its value is in its
Security.
no, not security. I was gonna say relicness. It's kind of like a relic.
That's that's what I mean with security, dude. Like
Intrinsic
it
value.
is so set, like it's secure in that place, right? Like that's how it look. In my mind, I was like thinking about this crypto space as this tree that's fractaling out, and it's like the log anchoring that tree. Man, dude, crypto is the tree of life. The internet is the roots. Connecting,
We can do a lot. With it.
connecting the mycelium network to the earth, dude. Interfacing with
Again, what's cool about it is that it's a distributed consensus algorithm, which
Yeah.
means that nodes agree, like almost, what do you call it?
unanimously.
I'm losing so many words lately.
We should use them more.
Democratically.
We should use them more. It's true. It's true, dude. It's the next step in actually being able to agree on where the money goes and what's happening to it in a way that we haven't been able to before. I believe in the technology. I don't think it's ready just yet for mass adoption.
If you guys are interested in this sort of stuff, you should check out. I think it's called IOTA's Tangle. Pretty certain it is. Done a fucking paper on it, but it was ages ago. IOTA's Tangle is something that's supposed to be a distributed consensus algorithm that could facilitate something like cryptocurrency. But essentially, the larger it grows, the faster it is.
Oh.
Because it has more, it's like a network.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying, you know, like, and you probably use that data processing algorithm for it as
So
well.
instead of a chain, it's a network
Yeah.
branching. Which is pretty cool.
I'm seeing a log graph in my mind, and it has more and more different little,
Mhm.
and it has these nodes.
Mhm.
And then you can see what the patterns are, so you can scale the data down. And the more you have of them, the faster it becomes because you get results quicker.
More like scale-wise, like if we were, if the blockchain, because that is what it's called, the algorithm is called blockchain.
Mm.
If that grew, you know, in terms of amount of things coming in, it would get exponentially slower to try and like traverse
Zoom,
the whole
zoom,
thing.
zoom through the whole thing, yeah.
Whereas with IOTA's Tangle, the validation as it grows out like this, it scales vertically and horizontally.
Ah.
And it's
So
just-
another tree of
if you
life.
want to
type of
find a
thing.
node here, instead of having to go through all the nodes, you just find one that has a direct link to it.
Oh, that's where the tangle comes from. It's like they're
Yeah,
entangled in
yeah.
themselves.
I could
Okay.
be speaking out of my ass. Please don't quote me.
I mean, like it feels.
but I'm pretty
feels like
sure
something.
that is how it works.
I'm back. It's nice to have you here again, Carmelia. Thank you, friends, for like spending just some time in this space with us. Calmly. I feel like we are just exponentially more adept due to the collective due to collective information. I think so as well. Confused Unga Bunga. Scap is like having his brain melted right now. Legacy is just a dream. You can look at the dream as relation, reflection, but also we can do it to make decisions in love of what is right in front of us. That is what the ancestors did as well. That's Christian's next poem. It's a haiku. You probably were poeming, you know, live. Thank you. Sharing as well, friend. Got to go. Love you all. Susanna, love you too. Thank you, friends, for joining us. I have to
Mahalo, it's
release.
training time.
I have to release my clench on water as well. Give back to the universe. I feel like I'm gonna explode. Thank
Bye-bye.
you, friends, for joining me. It was so nice to have you. I'm gonna pull a card first, though, dude.
Oh, pull a card.
This has to happen. Card for our friends. Sacred geometry, dude. What do you feel? Close your eyes and see a shape.
I saw like multiple shapes there.
He saw all the shapes. So if we see any shape right now, that means he saw the shape.
I don't know, like a tree or something.
I've been seeing trees as well, dude. Let's see what the universe shows. Why is change so frightening? Because it's the only constant. All right, and we keep forgetting that, Heather. We keep forgetting that change is the only constant. That out of all of the things that could happen, change will absolutely happen. Right? Maybe that's frightening. Maybe that's the frightening thing. What do you think, Christian?
What?
We had a friend ask, why is change frightening? My answer to that is because...
The unknown is always frightening to a human being.
Okay, but it's not the unknown, technically. It's the only thing that is known. Right?
Change.
Yeah.
I'm
Change.
saying change
I know.
begets doing something you don't know.
I know, but that's the point for me where you'll know you'll always have to change. So I like how you're sharing the on side. I'm like that's the trip. Like change means that you'll always have to continue changing. You'll always have to continue taking it another step, not knowing what step you're taking.
If you embrace discomfort and change, life does become more understandable.
Interesting as well.
I wouldn't say easier.
Yeah,
No,
easier is not necessarily the right word, but it becomes so interesting to me, dude. Like it becomes fractal in nature, basically. It opens up onto itself, and the more you go into it, the more it opens up. The card is picked though, I just haven't seen it yet. I'm envisioning a collaborative and cooperative new world replacing old competitiveness and exclusionary world. I feel there's a way. I thought about that actually. I feel there's a way, God. I can see it in part. We'll see it together, dude. Out of the old and into the new, here now. I see a sunflower. Let's see. Faces of Angkor, dude.
That wasn't even close.
No,
For
definitely
any of
not.
us.
I did talk about monks though. I did talk about monks. There's two monk dudes chilling though. Faces of Angkor. I feel if that isn't collaborative, look at those dudes. Yeah, just chilling. Collaborating to save the universe. Make it a better place. Diamonds. Diamonds, dude. Ancient wisdom as the key meaning. Diamond geometries illuminate the enigmatic faces carved on the Boyan Temple Mountains at Angkor, a vast city of sacred architecture in Colombia. At this temple site, some 37 of the 49 to 44 original face towers still stand in silent affirmation of the ancient wisdom. Young Buddhist monks enjoy the afternoon light and the glow of the massive meditative portraits. A deep sense of peace and wisdom permeates this ancient sacred place. This card invites you to explore the realm of ancient wisdom. Long held secret, ancient wisdom traditions are becoming increasingly accessible for our exploration. The more we learn about peoples who walked the earth before us, the more fully we may understand our humanness. This card encourages you to investigate any tradition to which you are attracted. There are many to enjoy, yet what you are seeking is more than a superficial glance. This may be a time for deeper study, or perhaps it is in your future to make a personal pilgrimage to places where ancient wisdom dwells. Where might you adventure, be it by book or by boat, internet, or jet plane? Become a seeker of ancient wisdom and witness how it will change your life. Adventure forth with an open heart and mind. Be prepared to learn as much about yourself as you will about those who came before you.
Ancestors.
Enjoy. Ancestors, dude. You know what I was talking about
Ancestors.
at the start of the stream?
What?
Someone asked us, am I into the Hindu religion or Hindu spirituality? You know, and like while I was reading through this little piece, that was what coming to my mind as well. If your friends are curious, you know, go and find out about that stuff. I feel, you know, it's not a religion as much as it's a story.
It is a very much a story.
Exactly, dude. A beautiful kind
So
of
was
like
the Bible though.
exactly, but it became deified as the truth, dude. where the Hindu story is like this extreme battle, you know, a civil war, and this attempt to try and reconcile what you're supposed to do when you're literally fighting yourself.
Are we talking about the Bhagavad Gita?
Yeah, dude.
Oh.
That's one of them. Like, I mean, there's so many of them, but
Shit
there's
ton.
so many, like more than you'll ever get through. But it's such a fascinating story, and again, it's all meant to make you self-reflect, to learn as much about yourself as you will about those that came before you. Thank you, friends, for joining me, for building this collaborative world with me. Gobbledygoo, you're Shannon. I love you. I'll see you, friends, again very soon. Thank you for joining me. Goodbye, everyone. Sena, so much love to you. Good morning, Melty, beautiful, amazing friends. Sorry I'm late, but I'm glad to be here. I have a job interview today. Wish me luck.
Yo, good luck, bro.
Good luck. I'm seeing
May everything work out peacefully and calmly.
pillars of fire with a statue in the middle of it of someone on a horse, and the horse is like prancing upwards.
What the fuck are you on?
That's what I'm seeing, dude. And she was asking for luck. Oh, that sounds very lucky to me. Here, screw. Good luck to you. Thank
That's how
you,
you see
Sena.
luck?
Good luck to you. I mean, I was just closing my eyes, imagining what I would be able to send. Thank you, Sena, for letting me, friend. So much love to all of you. I'll see you again soon. Don't laugh